Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Lewis Stewart. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. And Augusta, did you know that today is the first official day of winter?
It is the first official day of winter and also the shortest day of the year, correct? Which I'm really stoked about because in the summer I get bummed, or in the winter I get bummed.
Yeah, I know.
Ready for some sunshine.
I think everyone likes it when the days get a little bit longer. You don't have the sun setting quite as early. And so, yes, today is the shortest day of the year. And from here on out, the days will slowly
Just
begin.
gets better from here.
Yes, but as we know, if it's the first day of winter, temperatures are going to be cold as well. And that's exactly what we have in the forecast for today. 26 in Missoula, 25 Kalispell, 27 in Hamilton, 20 in Polson. We'll see mostly cloudy skies to partly cloudy skies in places like Hamilton and Missoula. Then more clouds in Kalispell and Polson, northwestern Montana, as clouds will be increasing throughout the day ahead of our next storm system. So winter weather advisories already in place. They go into effect at 5 p.m. in northwestern Montana. It starts 11 p.m. for west central and southwestern Montana. For the valleys, widespread valley snow, 3 to 7 inches possible. Locally up to 10 inches possible in areas as well. So here's your forecast headlines. Snow and wind start tonight through Friday. Arctic air for the weekend, and then another active weather setup with more snow possible Sunday and into next week.
Alrighty, thank you, Lewis. Top stories this morning. Authorities in Australia are trying to figure out what motivated the driver of a car to crash into pedestrians in one of the busiest areas of Melbourne. At least 14 people were hurt, some of them critically, including a child. The driver of the car and another person are in police custody. Hanadoba has the latest from New York.
Police in Melbourne blanketed a major intersection in the city moments after they say the driver of this white SUV intentionally plowed into pedestrians there.
At this stage, we believe it's a deliberate act.
This video shows at least one of more than a dozen people hurt being treated by paramedics. Many of them were Christmas shopping in the city's central business district Thursday afternoon when the incident occurred.
There was a big bang and lots of screaming. I could just see dust rising, and we were told to get away and stay in the station.
Authorities say they have arrested 2 men traveling in the SUV that ultimately stopped after crashing into a cable car stop.
We do not know the motivation, and it is still early stages of the investigation.
Onlookers say the driver ran a red light and showed no signs of slowing down.
The car would just speed up in purpose. That's all she tell me, and she just really shaky and, panicking, so she couldn't really talk properly.
Police are urging people to avoid the scene as the investigation continues to unfold. Hanadoba, CBS News.
One of those injured is reportedly a young child who suffered severe head injuries. Other top headlines this morning. President Trump celebrated with congressional Republicans after the passage of a $1.5 trillion tax cut on Wednesday. The bill made it through the House and Senate without a single vote from a Democrat. It's unclear when Mr. Trump will sign the bill. The White House says the president may wait until January in order to delay some automatic cuts to Medicare and other programs. Investigators in Mexico are looking at speeding as the possible cause of a deadly tourist bus crash. 12 people were killed, including 8 Americans. All were passengers from a pair of Royal Caribbean cruise ships. The crash happened during a day trip to visit Mayan ruins. In Washington state, the cleanup continues at the site of Monday's Amtrak derailment. Yesterday, crews hauled away one of the train's 2 locomotives. 3 people were killed when the trains left the tracks and tumbled onto a highway. Investigators say the train was traveling 80 miles an hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. And back in Missoula, layoffs at Western Montana Mental Health Center are prompting protests by employees who say they were treated unfairly. Here's more on their situation and the people who are now left without their care. Governor Bullock's budget cuts this year eliminated almost $9 million in targeted case management for adults with severe disabling mental illness or a substance use disorder through cuts to the Department of Public Health and Human Services. Western Montana Mental Health Center, which contracts with the state to deliver services, says they were directly affected by these cuts and are why they laid off 16 Missoula County case managers and aides effective January 2nd. The Montana Mental Health Workers Union that represents these employees filed multiple complaints about unfair labor practices against Western Montana Mental Health Center for failure to bargain in good faith this week.
You know, the majority of employees just wanted some type of protection or say, like, if we get laid off because state funding is so bad, you know, what do we get? Do we get a severance package? That's kind of what a lot of the initial language was.
Early Monday morning, dozens of people gathered to picket in front of WMMHC Administrative Building on Russell Street. Union organizers say their newly formed union is gathering steam after state budget cut discussions this summer and fall prompted layoffs and uncertainty among case managers and community-based rehab workers. Organizers told me more complaints would be filed this week for the mental health center's failure to bargain in good faith. These caseworkers say their concerns are larger than whether or not they'll get a severance package. They also want to be a part of what happens next at Western Montana Mental Health as critical case management services go away and hundreds of people are now without their care.
I had a client who, because of this news, did attempt to kill himself. Wasn't successful, but that's just beginning. You know, I don't know how many more. I've got people going into crisis, people calling me up, freaking out. How am I going to get to the doctor? How am I going to get to this? Next month I have, you know, cataract surgery. I can't, you know. I don't know who's going to do that. I don't know what to tell them.
Western Montana Mental Health Center released a statement about the layoffs saying, we have written editorials, testified, and attended legislative sessions to explain to the state what the cuts would mean to the community and community mental health centers, their clients, and their staff if the budget cuts went through. Unfortunately, the cuts were made anyway, and we are now in a place that none of us wanted to be. The center says they have group treatment programs they are planning to transition these people who will now be left without case managers into, but these case managers told me the group solutions are not really workable for the clients they're supposed to serve, and that this community could see an increase in suicide situations like suicide attempts and homelessness once they lose their in-home and community-based care. The workers were given their pink slips last Thursday and say they are now trying to give their patients the best information possible to make decisions about their continued care. And on the Flathead, those dreaming of a white Christmas in northwest Montana got their wish. A 3-day winter storm has blanketed the region with several feet of snow in some areas. Flathead County Public Works Director David Prunty says the community's patience is appreciated as plow crews continue to clear less traveled roads and berms yesterday. Berms are created by the plows when they clear the snow off roadways. They can be about 3 or 4 feet high in some areas, and officials say you should not drive through them. Some of them could be solid ice.
We start making some real sizable berms when we're plowing that off, and folks got to deal with those berms. So that's probably the biggest impact. Our equipment can handle it, no problem. It's just a lot, and finding homes for it as we plow it off, and then the citizens deal with it.
And with heavy snowfall across the valley, several school districts called off school yesterday entirely. With more on these winter weather conditions, meteorologist Louis Storch joins us now in the Storm Tracker Weather Center.
All right, thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, the majority of the snow was in northwestern Montana. However, with this next system moving through starting tonight, widespread snow showers all across western Montana, but it looks like the heaviest amounts will be shifting south, west central, southwestern Montana, and I'll show you those snow totals here in just a minute. First, though, a quick look at your temperatures outside. We're seeing mostly 20 in teens. Cold, though, over towards the Divide. 5 in Butte, 2 below Dillon, 2 below Helena. We're at 3 below there in Cut Bank, and then again, temperatures, like I mentioned, just continue to drop for the next couple days. Even though the snow's moved out, still some slippery roads out there. So this is McDonald Pass. Take it easy as we are getting reports of snow and ice over McDonald Pass this morning, especially as you head towards the Divide. That's where it looks like many of the worst road conditions are. Let's talk about your Hamilton hour-by-hour forecast for today. Beautiful backdrop photo sent into us by Cindy Schaefer. Cindy, thank you so much for this photo here. And today is going to be dry, chilly temperatures, clouds slowly increasing throughout the afternoon. So mostly cloudy skies this morning, temperatures in the teens. By the afternoon time, cloudy skies with highs into the 20s. And then a beautiful photo sent into us by Tim Wiley. This is the calm after the storm, he said there in Kalispell. Tim, thank you so much for this one. That's the backdrop for our Kalispell hour-by-hour forecast with teens this morning. Any chance of sunshine will be around 8 a.m. this morning, earlier in the day, and then we're going to start to see clouds build in throughout the afternoon. All right, let's go ahead and talk about snowfall totals, see what we are expecting over the next 24 hours or so as snow moves in tonight, and then we'll stop it Friday at around 11 p.m. Notice widespread snow anywhere from 3 to 7 inches right now for all of western Montana, with the heavier amounts possible west central, southwestern Montana. So this model here has Missoula on the higher end of that, around 7 inches. Again, I think that 3 to 7 inch mark is going to be good, but notice again, the heavier amounts look to be further south as that cold front quickly moves through and then kind of stalls as it hits the west central and southwestern part of the state. Another thing I want to hit on really quick though is we are going to see the winds really pick up for tomorrow. So we're talking about snow, also blowing snow. So that is going to create some travel problems as many of us may be hitting the road for that travel, for Christmas travel starting tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Quick look at your 7-day forecast for Missoula. Notice we'll get some snow today, then teens for the weekend, and snow moves into next week as well for Kalispell, and same thing for Hamilton. Snow and wind tomorrow, and then snow again moves in by Sunday and into next week.
Alrighty, thank you, Louis. We hope you're having a great morning in Montana. This morning continues right after this break.